Hey guys, this is a different type of video, isn't it? I am currently sitting on my floor. I know my hair is crazy, I look crazy. There's no usual bangs, no usual makeup today. I just wanna sit here and chat. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I've been gone for a really long time. Partially that is due to my deteriorating mental health. Another big chunk of it would be my fear of putting myself out there and being vulnerable on the internet. But mostly it all has to do with my mental health. So I made an announcement in late September saying that I've been feeling really down and kind of like unstable. People on my Twitter have seen my numerous mental breakdowns to a certain extent, like just a little peep into like my brain, I guess, and my thoughts. Anyways, I overshare a little bit too much there. I need to tone it down for sure. Basically, the situation is in late September, I was sent to the ER, and then I stayed there for a day, like a whole 24 hours, locked in a little box type of room with a TV and just a mattress and literally nothing else. Just a cold room. It felt like a cell. I was like, what the fuck? I had no social interaction except like the nurses and shit. When the psychiatrist came in, I was like, where the fuck am I? Because like I was trying to nap it all off. Like, I just forced myself to sleep through the 24 hours because I'm like, I'm miserable and it's cold in here and my mental is just already deteriorating. Them putting me in like a room confined by myself does not help my mental at all, because I was already going insane prior to getting to the ER due to me getting cheated on for like the 50th time. Yeah, basically, I was in like a on and off relationship with my ex-partner for a really long time, and for like a year and a half. And it's just a very bad cycle because they lie. They lie so much, and they keep betraying me, and they keep doing the things that I told them. This is my definition of cheating, and if you cross that boundary, like, no. But like, because of me and my mental illness, it keeps going swinging back and forth. I try to like forgive them, but then realizing that they're not gonna change, and then me not knowing how to deal with it all because I have no sense of self. I isolated myself from everyone that I knew. So then at that point in my life, it got so hard because when you have no friends, no support system, and the only person that you can go to is your very cold tiger Asian mom, like, it's not a good combination. So then they were like the only thing that I knew and was supposedly my safe space. Okay, I don't want to be dramatic and feel like that crying shit here, but yeah. If someone's supposed to be your safe space and someone that you actually trusted for, like, if you saw one person as someone that you truly trusted and you truly felt safe with, and that person keeps betraying you and stabbing you in the back, fuck, that shit hurts. And then it's always a constant cycle of you trying to forgive them, but you can't come to the terms or can't seriously accept the fact that they can never change. And you can't make people change. And that's why I got sent to the psych ward. When I was in the ER, I told them, like, what led up to me, they were like, yeah, you're not going home tonight. You're not going home. You have to be sent to the ward. You have to be admitted to a psychiatric, hospital, is what the doctor said. And then I start pleading with the nurses. I'm like, please let me go home. I don't want to do this. But, like, at that point, I was like, fuck, dude, I accepted my fate. And then they transported me from one hospital to the other. And then when I arrived at the psychiatric ward, it was already like 12 a.m. and it was really late. and there were like two patients that were in the common area, and then I just came in. I was so scared. I was like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? But since like no one was out and walking about, I was like, okay, there's not that many people here. But the nurse that like admitted me like was pretty nice. Like, I love her, that nurse. Anyways, I got put into this room with this girl, and she was already sleeping. So then when I got there, it was just like, time to sleep. But in the ward, you cannot sleep at all. And then first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., they wake you up. They would be like, vitals time, and they literally have like a lock around your wrist. It's like a bracelet that they have to scan, and they have to walk around to monitor like, oh, if you're still here or not, or if you escaped the hospital. Like, that's what they have to do. So they have to check on you every 5 minutes. So when you sleep, like the mental health worker, they would like walk in with an iPad, and then they have to like be like this. Sometimes they have to hover over you because it wouldn't scan, and that shit is scary because you're like half like asleep and half like lucid. You're like, what the fuck is happening? And like there's a scary figure hovering over me, like what the hell. Yeah, so sleep there was absolutely terrible. And not to mention the fact that you obviously cannot have your phone, you cannot have a lot of things that might potentially harm you. So yeah, and I had a crippling like scrolling addiction on my phone, so then like I couldn't scroll on TikTok or Insta Reels or anything, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go insane from boredom. And then next thing in the morning, wake up, vitals, and then breakfast. Like me going to breakfast, I was like, shit, I don't know anyone here, and they've already kind of been acquainted with each other, and I tried my hardest to talk to people, but it was like, I couldn't. My anxiety was going through the fucking roof at the ward because I was like, I feel like I'm in kindergarten again. And like, I need to find my way to like, who should I sit with at the lunch table? It's kind of like that. Choose the wrong people, you're stuck with them. Or like, oh, you'll just be a loner eating by yourself. And that's like my worst fear, because that was like what happened to me in school. Like that social rejection type of feel. Like I can't stand that. So I do anything to try to fit in. So then I always carried like a little, they have like a little station where you could like have tea and like hot water and stuff. So I always carried around hot tea with me. So then like my hand would always be shaking, but like I had something warm to compress, like to help that feeling of anxiety. So then I just always held something. And then yeah, I tried to talk to some people, some girls, some dudes. It was like a co-ed psych ward. For that floor, it was like a college dorm thing. We were unit south, so that means there's like an east, north, and a west ward. The other ones are like adult ones, and then women's section, and then men's only wards. So basically it's like that. I have to say, like, some of the dudes, okay, I think only like some dudes felt weird. There's like this one person that felt like a Asian fetishizer, specifically Korean fetishizer, but not to get into that too much. You know, I was just like, okay, it is what it is. Why does this guy keep talking to me about his Korean girlfriends and trying to talk to me in Korean when I'm not Korean? Anyways, hope he's doing well. There were some girls there that I eventually got the courage to talk to because I was really scared. And they were really nice, they were really sweet, and I was sad that like I only like really talked to like my roomie, like my roommate, like 2 days before she was about to be discharged. But just hearing everyone's stories about why they ended up there and like things that they struggled with did broaden my perspective on a lot of things, because I felt so alone in like what I was going through, and I also felt so dumb. Like I was like, why the hell did I try to for a dude, for a freaking dude that is unfaithful and just a liar? Why did I do that? And I just felt dumb that was my reason for being there. But it turns out like a lot of other people, a lot of other girls also had similar reasons, and I wasn't able to talk to the dudes about why they ended up there that much, because I'm not really comfortable talking to men because of trauma in the past. Let's just say that simply. I know everyone had like their shit going on, and I think knowing everyone's stories and how different everyone is, and different in stages of life and career and just everything, basically, just made me realize that we're all more similar than I'd initially thought when I first came to the ward. Yeah, I think a big part of me struggling in the ward was feeling really alone and not feeling like I fit in with the people in the ward, and just like in general, because like I knew outside the ward I didn't have anyone else. There was like a telephone landline thing, and the only person that I could call was my mom and the cheating ex-partner. And you know, I called the cheating ex-partner for comfort. Fucking stupid of me. And it's still an ongoing like cycle, to be very transparent with you guys. I feel like maybe eventually I'd realize things, but for me, I don't learn things unless I learn it the hard way. And by the hard way, like, sometimes it's like the hardest way possible. And my mom, I kept calling her. I'm like, hey, can you please come see me? I'm really lonely and I feel like I'm going crazy here. The first 3 days, I was like panicking, like having a panic attack every single day. And I'm like crying, sobbing on the phone and trying to hide my face so that other people don't see me. Yeah, I was like, Mom, please come see me, because there's visiting hours every day. And some people, they have like their families come very often, like very frequently. And then I just felt like, because my mom couldn't come see me because she's busy, or like that she didn't care. It felt like she didn't care. But I know it's just because she's busy. But just having to like deal with that my whole life, like, oh, the fact that she couldn't be there to pick me up from school or whatever, and I'd always be the last kid that was like picked up, and I just either get picked up by like a friend's parent or something. It's always like that. So that's kind of how I felt there. After I begged her to come see me, she like squeezed room to come see me during the visiting hours. When I had to talk with my mom during that time, she was just like, how has it come to this? Like, you were so smart, you were so bright and gifted as a kid. What did I do wrong to raise you that you turned out this way? And I'm like, it's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It's just, we did the best that we could, you know, growing up and stuff. We did the best that we can. You did the best that you can. And I tried my best to understand you. But there's just accumulation of things that we can't control anymore, at least, because it already happened, that led to my mental kind of turning out like this. And me not knowing how to cope with it and not knowing how to deal with these things is a big part of why things got to the point that it got. AKA trying to end, you know, my... Yeah, I don't want this to be like demonetized or anything. It might, but, you know, it's a very sensitive topic. I'm like trying to make it more lighthearted to you guys, but I think it's just me coping, because when sometimes I talk about these things, I'm like really like down and like have a monotone ass voice, but I'm just like trying to, I don't really know. I don't know if this is my authentic self. I have a big imposter syndrome as well, so this is just me trying to convey my thoughts, and I hope it can reach people and make other people realize that that they're not alone as well, you know. And after I got out of the ward, I was still struggling a lot, and with BPD, and I also have a incoming ADHD diagnosis. Basically, I'm on a wait list for ADHD. My doctor put me on it, and I need to wait a couple months for me to get evaluated, but all the doctors I've seen said that I most likely have it, but in order for me to get a proper diagnosis, I need to go through that process. But they put me like on some ADHD med, like off-label type of medication. Yeah, I'm medicated now, so get medicated, guys, if you want to, if you're open to. It works very different on different people, obviously. For me, it's good because I have BPD and I'm taking Lexapro right now. My doctor didn't say mood stabilizers was the best choice for me, because it's more for bipolar mixed in with borderline. But for me right now, Lexapro has been going pretty well. I feel really fucking numb, which is good because I have very intense emotions and I become crazy irrational and impulsive and all that crazy jazz that you see on the internet. It's like all of that entailed into a whirlwind of like me. So being on medication helped, and after I got out, I'm still in contact with, you know, said ex-partner, and things, like a cycle, things don't change, things don't fucking change. So I try to like do that shit again. The reason why I went to the ward in the first place, I did all that shit again, trying to, you know, myself again and again, like, and again. It was like multiple times in October. So that's why October was really rough for me. But starting November, it started to die down a tad bit. And then last week, I reached out to an old high school friend and I hung out with them. And for the first time, I felt like I had someone outside that toxic partner, that dynamic of feeling so overly reliant on that person because I have no one else. But reaching out to someone else that I truly felt comfortable with in the past and I still feel comfortable with now, my old friend, it really helped me a little bit. Just even the slightest bit helps, you know. I'm really grateful for them, you know. And obviously this journey of trying to get better, this self-help shit, is like a large part like a mindset thing, because I had people tell me like the harsh truth, and like obviously I know this, I know what I need to do, and I know how to solve my problem. Not exactly how, but like the logical solutions to all the things that I'm feeling and dealing with. I know the logic of it all because I'm a chronic overthinker, but to a point that I over-intellectualize everything that I think and ruminate in other things, that it's really hard for me to get out of that space in my head, even though I feel like, oh, this is what I need to do, or yes, I know that this person's bad for me, but why can't I just leave? Why? Obviously the most logical choice is just to leave and start anew, but it's really fucking hard. Obviously, I need to do shit in my life to get better. Obviously, I need to get a job. I need to do normal people shit, go out of the house, take a walk, go to the fucking park, get off the fucking phone to feel better. These are very obvious things that people kind of stuff down my throat, and also my own brain stuffs down my throat. But it's harder when people are coming at you with that critical, judgmental type of feel rather than an empathy perspective, I'd say. Because I had a friend of mine that was giving me really harsh advice, I'd say. Telling me that if you want to change, you have to do the work to change. You sitting here wanting change but not doing things to make it happen is just like, it's pointless. And I kind of knew that, but I think I'm just in this type of freeze state. Like, I feel paralyzed. I feel like whatever I do, I can't make a change. everything I do is pointless. Nothing is worth it. I don't have passion for anything anymore. I don't have love for anything, really. I don't have things that I want. I just feel like I don't know what I'm living for. Quite frankly, to put it like that. I don't know what I'm living for, and I can't find the reason to get up and do things for myself. And I know obviously there's so many people that have it worse than me in the world. I'm lucky to have a roof over my head, and to have a place to stay. I'm lucky for a lot of things, you know? But it doesn't disregard like the very real pain that you go through when you're dealing with mental illness and just feeling like you don't belong at all. At the end of October, I almost got sent back to the hospital, but I kind of had to lie my ass off in the ER. But guys, don't do that. Like, they could see through your lies. I was just lucky that time, okay? I was just lucky. I was very lucky. Well, I don't know if lucky is the good word for it, but, you know, yeah. I just made it sound like it wasn't as serious as it was, so then I didn't get sent back. Because I was scared to go back to the ward because, like I kept having nightmares since the ward. For the past month and a half, almost 2 months now, I've been getting frequent nightmares. And I had multiple nightmares of me being back there. And it just scared the shit out of me. There's also obvious horror stories that happen there. People get misdiagnosed, go on the wrong medication, and then health complications. And there's also people that are kind of just screaming their head off at the ward and kind of, you know, well, crazy, but not like literally crazy. They just have shit that happens that cause them to like act in a way that quote unquote normal people say, oh, that's just crazy behavior. Obviously I've acted out in ways that is labeled as that, so we're all the same here. I don't really have a moral of the story or theme of this video. Oh, also guys, should I cut my bangs? I've been growing it out since I've been hospitalized, and I'm thinking of wanting like curtain bangs like this because I've never tried that type of haircut because I've always had bangs. Let me know. I want to try something new, but yeah. Someone give me some advice on how to actually pick up the will to do things again, because I don't even like doing makeup anymore. I have no desire for basically anything besides sometimes food, and that's it. Like, nothing brings joy to me. I know that sounds very, very like, oh my god, like, that is so emo. But like, genuinely, on a real note, like, give me some advice, guys. What are little things that make you guys happy? I would like to know, and I would also like to come up with a list of my own to like kind of make myself find the joy in just little things. It doesn't even have to be big things, you know? I think the reason to keep living is for little things. I think that's the most meaningful one. Like in the past, I would say, oh, something that is worth living for is like music, or like, music. Back when I was like depressed in middle school, I'd be like, yeah, something that's to live for is BTS. I need to see their new comeback. And guess what? That's what got me here today. And that's what kept me going for a while. So whatever thing that you like, cling on to it. Because it will pay off in some way, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. It's a pretty long video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world, and peace out.